Hello everyone and welcome to a top 10 Doctor Who missing episodes, part of the collaboration video playlist with TJ Productions as part of his 500 subscribers special. So congratulations on 500 subscribers. And, well, I'm TARDISGUY123 and let's jump right into the top 10. So, at number 10 we have the Macra Terror. Now this is a second Doctor serial, 4 parts, and what's of it? It's just the Macra have returned in a new series, albeit kind of odd. They're not really the same, they're not really villains, they're just random monsters chucked in for the sake of it. But anyway, in this they are much better, they are much more villainous. And I think it's an episode that really should be returned to the archives, because it's more of Ben and Polly, who don't have that much Doctor Who serials complete. They only have one serial actually fully complete, and that is their first one, which is the War Machines. So, and I really do like the companions. It's also got Jamie in it, and can't hurt to have a little more Jamie. So yeah, that's number 10. Now at number 9 we have the Abominable Snowmen, sorry, not Snowman. And this is the first appearance of the Yeti. We of course now have the second appearance of the Yeti with the One of Fear, mostly complete now. And but you know, I really think that we need the first as well, so that's why I've decided to put this on the list. I've heard it's not too good a story, which is partly why I put it quite low down. But I still think it's worth having any form of the Yeti, because the Yeti are amazing monsters. And it's also got Jamie and Victoria in it. And yeah, so that's number 9. Number 8, we have Marco Polo. And, well, this is the first, in a way, proper historical story. We did kind of have one before this, in, what's it called, Unearthly Child, but that's not, this is more of a, one that's actually playing off an event in history, in a way, rather than just random thing. So it's quite interesting for that. And also, because when I was quite young, I watched the end of, went through all the beginning box set and got to the end of the Edge Destruction, and I always wondered what's happened next, what's that big footprint in the snow. So I really want to be able to fully experience that and find out what's actually happening and everything. Probably Marco Polo, because that's just one of them cliffhangers for me that I always... And I think the way that the classic series did that, not as in the classic series, but the very early Hartnell stuff often did that, just kind of like lead into the next episode continuously. I thought that was a really good idea, and it really does make you want to know what happens next, and I want to know what happens next in Marco Polo. So, at number 7, we have The Wheel in Space. Now, I have watched a Telesnaps version of this, and I have seen parts 3 and 6, and yeah, I can't really get into audio sort of Telesnaps. I need either animation or actual, what do we call it? I know that there are some people who really do like audios, and yeah, I'm not going to put that past them, but I just can't get into audio. I find them hard to get into in a lot of cases, because it just, over to Telesnaps, just gets quite boring quite quickly for me. And I have also saw the what's the Enemy of the World in Telesnaps, and then got to watch that. But I hope that The Wheel in Space also gets returned, because it's the only Cybermen story not to be released on DVD. So yeah, I think it really deserves to be released on DVD. Well, technically it has been released on DVD in the Lost in Time, but it deserves its own single DVD release. So yeah, that's why I put that on there. Now, at number 6 we have Galaxy 4. Now, this is kind of like been one of those stories that just makes fans want it even more, because part 3 has been found. So it just kind of like gives a tantalising look into it, and really want it to be found. Now, someone to argue that it's a boring well, just a single moral tale, but I think, you know, you need those moral tales sometimes, and to have it in a Doctor Who form is even better. So, yeah, I think that's one of those. It's just one of those stories, really, that I really want to see returned. Now, at 5, we have the Daleks Master Plan. Now, I know some people have already put this at 10 on their list. I won't say why is it at 5. But to be honest, the 4 stories that I put on top of this, I really want to see returned more. And I think we've kind of got enough Hartnell Dalek stories. Not to say I'll be disappointed if this one gets found, but just that we have got all the other Hartnell Dalek stories. So, and this is, however, this is the 12-part epic, and who doesn't want to see a Dalek 12-part epic? We've got 3 parts of it, so yeah, I do want that one to be returned to the archives, but these 4 I want returned more. So in 4th place, we have Fury from the Deep. Now, this is just one of those stories that's made up in myth and whatnot to be totally terrifying. Like one of the scariest Doctor Who stories to date. And it's Victoria's last one, and the surviving clips have been described as bedwettingly terrifying. And they are quite scary, I think, the surviving clips. So I think this is one that deserves to be found, to be honest, because it's just one of those stories, really, and it's from season 5, which is described as the monster season or whatever. So, and it's also the only one from the monster season that has no episodes whatsoever. So yeah, I think it deserves to be found, even if it's just kind of like one episode from it. So I really hope we get something more from it as time goes on. Now, next we have the Faceless ones, and we do have episodes 1 and 3 of this. And I love episodes 1 and 3. I can watch them all day. Probably not all day. A bit bored eventually. Get bored of watching anything all day, but yeah, I think they are amazing stories. No, not amazing stories. Sorry, amazing episodes. And they really are entertaining, and it really gets up this level of mystery and whatnot. And it's got it's Ben and Polly's last one, and they do kind of disappear halfway through this, like Dodo does, but they do show up at the end at least, unlike Dodo, and they do get a proper farewell. Albeit they don't kind of like get as good a one as you may have hoped for. So yeah, that's that. And now we move on to the story that comes straight after this, which would be The Evil of the Daleks. Now, we have episode 2, which is the only one of Patrick Troughton's Dalek episodes that we have, episode 2, which is unfortunate, because so I think you can always measure a Doctor up against how he goes up against the Daleks, because that is kind of like, when people want to watch a certain episode from a certain Doctor, they automatically jump to a Dalek episode. And yeah, it's unfortunate that you can't really do that with the second Doctor. Now you can jump straight onto the Cybermen, which is fortunate, and that it's the Cybermen were better in Patrick Troughton's era than the Daleks were. But I do want to see the Evil of the Daleks return, because it's their big send-off from the series in a way. They do get brought back, of course, in Day of the Daleks, we all know that. But it's something that it was intended as a send-off. I think it's something that really needs to be brought back to the BBC archives, because it is the last black and white Dalek story, unless you count the War Games, which has it in for like a couple of seconds. But yeah, so that's Evil of the Daleks, and now finally, in first place, most of you will probably be able to guess it already, as it probably would have been on this list before, but my number 1 story I want to see return to BBC archives is Power of the Daleks. Now, being a Patrick Troughton fan, Patrick Troughton is my absolute favourite Doctor. being a Patrick Troughton fan, and this being his first story, I really want to see this returned, because it's unfortunate we can't see his story straight after Regeneration. We can't even properly see his story before he regenerates, because the 10th Planet episode 4 has been lost. So there's no real kind of like, the earliest Patrick Troughton is the Underwater Menace episode 2, which was recently found. So I think Power of the Daleks really needs to be found. It just really needs to be found, to be honest. It's the only Patrick Troughton story that doesn't feature Jamie, so I'd be interested to see how he gets along without him. We kind of get that in Three Doctors, but that's a bit different. It's just so raw, just a story I really want to see return, because it's got so many exciting parts in it. Daleks are supposed to be really scary in it, and yeah, it's just what I really want to see returned. So yeah, thanks for watching this top 10, sorry, and once again, congratulations to TJ Productions for getting 500 subscribers, and thank you to TJ Productions for letting me do this top 10 video, and thank you everyone for watching. Bye everyone.